shadows asleep amidst the trees. Bats all are swaying in the breeze. But one so light anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths. For your dolly Polly sleep has flown, don't dare let her tremble alone. For the wheelchair, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. Cows turned in as daylight dies. But when so light anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags and wraiths, my dear Dolly.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Haunted Connection show. We're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, Leicester, and we're sponsored by Sims Antiques. Vintage Antiques.
Sims Vintage Antiques.
Warren near Stratford. I say it every week.
It's been that long. Have a week off, and this is what happens.
That's it. So big welcome to everyone. Tonight we're talking about religion in the paranormal, and I think this stems from an experience Neil had earlier in the week in the shop. So we'd like, as usual, your thoughts, your experiences, anything that you'd like to say, all your comments, put them down in the comments bit and we can see them. And if you've got any questions or anything like that, then we'll do our best to answer them.
You shall.
So yes, religion, Neil. What are your thoughts on religion in the paranormal?
Okay, we chose this subject because of something that happened in the shop yesterday with me. I had a guy come in, and basically, he called, what did he call?
An abomination.
He called me abomination because of what I believe. And then I says, well, we're all entitled to all our own opinions. He says, I need to turn to the church and turn to the Bible.
Repent your sins.
So, and he says, I'm going to hell. So, I just thought we'd talk about religion. Do you think religion and the paranormal go together? Do you think they should be kept separate? Do you think we're going to go to hell because of what we do? I don't know. Well, I know what I think. So let's start with Jane. It's hell is going to be quite full.
Yes.
When we've all gone. So do you think you can have religion in the paranormal, or should they be totally separate? I don't know. I think they're kept separate. But
yeah, I think
Jane.
There's nothing wrong with having a religious faith. But I do think if you want to experience anything in the paranormal and have experiences with other people as well, I do think you need to sort of just put your faith just to one side for a little bit and just have a completely open mind so you can experience something. Because if you come in with the attitude that it's all wrong and it's, God's going to smite this and smite that and everything else, and we're all wrong and we shouldn't be doing it, then you're never going to get a proper paranormal experience, are you?
No, let's put some comments up. Annette says, I've read that post, laugh out loud. Andrew says, evening, looking forward to being there on the 26th. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you all. Well, it'll be Amy probably, and we just can't get rid of her. Sarah Jane says, wow. Lynn says, I think some religions are more accepting. Sarah says religion is supernatural. Gary says, I'll see you there. I'm at the front. I think that's in the gates
we're
to
pushing
hell.
you in first, Gary.
Annette says, I don't do religion. It gets me into trouble.
Mm.
What annoyed me the most about it is, you know, we have these shows and we voice our opinions, but I don't ram just what I believe down people's throats.
No.
Just because somebody has a different opinion or religion to me, that's fine. It don't bother me, but I don't want it ramming down my throat that I've got to believe what they believe in. That's wrong to me.
Yeah. And you see, some of it as well comes down to early programming, doesn't it? So a child will, whatever you teach or program a child for the first 7 years of their life is what sticks in their subconscious, and it's their sort of, unless they actually change, like rewire some of the things they've been taught, that will be in there for a long time. So if they have quite a religious start, it's always going to be in there. And because it's been told to them by their parents or their schools or anything like that, it's going to stick. And it's really difficult to go against everything you believe. And I had that problem in the beginning anyway. My granddad was a pastor at the church. He was there for 52 years. My dad had to sort of follow in there. He was a bit religious. Although I don't think he entirely enjoyed it. But I went to Sunday school right from being little. As I got older, I was confirmed in the Church of England, and I used to go to church every Sunday and everything. But it never felt right for me. It never felt right. And I'd already had all this programming, this religious programming. And to me, I needed to find the answers. I needed to find something else. And it was only when I went to spiritualist church that I actually felt, yes, this is where I want to be. And I was almost compelled to go there. So changing your thoughts and your ideas on how you've been programmed is quite difficult. But once you get that feeling to try and find the truth for yourself, rather than being told what to do and what to think and what to believe in, then things change.
Yeah, let's get some more comments. Karen says, don't understand why I even went in. Obviously, what you are from the outside. It does say, doesn't it, on the outside?
Yeah.
Lynn says, presumably it was a Christian. Depends if it's Old or New Testament, I suppose. Yes, it was a Christian, and I admit I don't know that much about religion because I've never really been into religion. Never.
No.
But you see, I was forced to do RE at school, learning about the Bible. Hated it, so I didn't like it at all. I knew it worked for me. Bloss says, hi guys, thought you'd gone to hell, man. I'm on my way.
He's on his way.
He's got my number. Denise says, spirit is mentioned in most religions. We should all have our own thoughts. Exactly. That's what my.
But even in the Bible, they do God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, don't they?
Yeah. Sarah Jane says, I'm not very religious myself, but I know a lot of people who are. They fully believe in the paranormal. Honestly though, people should keep their opinions to themselves. I fully agree what you are saying, Neil. They shouldn't ram their beliefs down your throat. Yeah, that's my issue. Lynn says, how will they explain the raising from the dead with Lazarus?
Yeah, and also Jesus himself in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he rose after 3 days and he was spoken to, that was like a paranormal experience, wasn't it? But you died 3 days ago, and here you are, a ghost, and I'm talking to you. Get me K2 out.
I don't think they have K2s then, Jen. Sarah says, I used to spend the church offering in the shop and eat sweets instead of going to church. Another confession there, Sarah. Gary says, got the HAPRC chat on. It's in about religion with the paranormal. Have you sent that to the wrong person, Gary? Bloss says, we'll meet you at the door with a stick. Yeah. I've got no doubts there, Bloss. Lynn says, exactly. Rick says, they will have a shock when they find out God is a woman. Oh, Rick, don't. But I had that long time ago when I first started to Haunted Venues. A guy I used to work with, he's with the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
And I used to advertise at our events, and he used to have a go at me. There's only one true spirit, and that's Jesus or something. And I said, no, I don't think so. I can't remember his name. And he used to really moan at me. So I unfriended him.
Mm.
We used to get on well. I worked with him a long time ago.
So I don't know how some religions can say they're so righteous and that they have to, that, you know, they should be, that they're helping people or that they're benevolent and things like that when their history is atrocious. The Christian faith has killed more people over the centuries than anything else. And I'm not slating anybody's beliefs, or, you know, and if you are a practicing Christian or Catholic or whatever, then that's fine, that's absolutely fine, and if you feel better through doing that, then that's down to your own choice. But things like the Catholic Church, when they took on all those when they took on the mothers and babies and things in Ireland, and they found those mass graves for the babies, and in North America too, the Indian schools, the residential schools where most of the children died, and they're just buried in unmarked graves out the back of these buildings and things. And it's terrible. How can a benevolent God treat people like that? And I don't believe that the God that they believe in is capable of doing that sort of thing.
No. Okay, Gary said yes, he put it on the wrong chat. I thought, yeah, good job, it was nice and clean, Gary. Lynn said, Rick, that's about the God being a woman bit. And then she says, International Women's Day as well, why not? I'm not getting into that one.
Which one?
About God being a woman.
Well, she might well be. I mean, as far as...
No, he isn't. No, I'm joking, sorry. And Sarah says, I'm all for going to hell anyway. Heaven seems to be very overrated. I think they're more fun down hell. Rick says, the one true spirit is whiskey. And Bloss says, churchgoers are the biggest hypocrites.
Yeah. And God loves you, but he always needs your money.
Yes.
You know, how much blood has been spilt giving money to the church? And the church own absolutely so much land and the buildings, and people used to have to give all their money back in medieval times and stuff, give their money to the churches and that, so that they could buy themselves that you know, that salvation and go to heaven.
Rick says, any religion makes you worship a malevolent being on your knees, thanking it for all the cruelty in the world. It isn't much of a religion.
No.
I don't care what people believe in. I really don't. No, my mum is a Christian.
Yeah.
And I still love my mum.
But I've got absolutely no problem with people believing whatever they want to believe. But I think when it has a massive impact on people, because somebody, and this would come from God himself, somebody with, like, you know, all paid for robes and everything else, who believes he's acting on behalf of God, would say, you know, right, go to that village there, convert them all to Christians, burn everything that's related to any sort of idol, or, you know, back in the South America, went there, with the Spanish when they took over the Aztecs and things. They nicked all their gold, burnt all their stuff, all their ancient papers, everything. They had massive bonfires burning absolutely everything. And then they told them they've all got to convert to Catholicism or whatever it was. And they built their churches all on top of their sacred places.
Yep. Okay, Mark says, good evening both. Hi, Mark. Rasmussen, I apologise if I pronounced that wrong, says, if life is give and take, can you now go into a church and condemn them for not believing in ghosts? I don't think you can. Sarah Jane says, well said, Rick. I think that's about going on your knees. Bloss says, I believe in donkeys and German shepherds.
And what a wonderful combination.
Mark says, certain church folk don't believe in mediumship, but they embrace the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
It's
It is a
bit hypocritical and contradictory.
Yes. So although they don't believe in mediumship, when Christ could sort of do all these things, all these miracles and things that he used to sort of talk about, when he said things like, oh, you're going to burn the house of my father, when they actually, the synagogues and stuff, when he was in the, I can't remember the name of it, but he was in there being in the house of his father and that sort of stuff. And he foretold a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, Rick says, when you finally get to the main man on the Demon Files, Neil, we will all find out the truth and it will open people's eyes.
Yes. Well, I think he's already booked an appointment.
He's booked in. The main man, if you watch the Demon Files, that's where, if you don't watch it, Jane summons a different demon each episode. Mm-hmm. We just want to find the truth. That's what we do here. But shall we tell them?
If you want.
In August, we are going to Pendle Hill, and we're going to go in search of the truth behind the Pendle Hill witches. And apparently, the story goes that in the quarry in Pendle, these witches summoned the devil himself. So on the Sunday night, when we're up there, we're supposed to have been doing a Demon Files anyway. We are going to go into the quarry, and Jane is going to summon the devil himself.
It's Neil's idea.
It is my it is my idea.
He made me do it.
And depending on whether we get a phone signal in the quarry, perhaps we won't. I don't know.
But we're going to ring him up then.
No, I'm going to live feed it. If we don't get a signal for the live feed, I will record it as live, and as soon as we get a signal, we will play it. So that's what we're planning in August.
I mean, something might happen.
Mark says absolutely right about the churches, I think. Sarah Jane says, invite this guy back, Neil. On Sunday we are coming over. We could join in the chat.
Yeah. We'll take him out, stone him in the car park.
Okay, this one's for you, Jane. Is Jane the English equivalent of Zach Bagans, as he summons a demon every episode? I'll voice my opinion first. No, Jane does it properly, and Jane does it. It's real. Zach Bagans is a demon everywhere. Zach goes, apparently. I don't watch him now, but so we do it for real, don't we? Well, you do.
I didn't know Zach had got round to summoning them. I thought he just chased them off.
He's probably seen one of our live feeds, the Demon Files, and thought,
but we don't. When we do all this, just so people know, when we do all this, we don't actually put on the live feed the invocation of summoning these creatures or these beings. That is all kept to ourselves. We don't put that
to you. You're the only one that knows. I heard it once. I can't remember it. Even Amy and Ant and Julie don't know what Jane says to some of the demons. So that will never ever be put in the public domain. Sarah said, Jane, that's amazing. I don't quite know what that's about, but you're amazing, Jane.
Thank Thank you.
Bloss says he is daft, Jane. I imagine that's about me, Bloss. So keep your comments coming about religion and the paranormal. Me personally think it should be kept separate.
Yeah.
As much as possible, but that's from my own personal beliefs. I'm not religious at all. If anyone knows me, knows I'm not religious at all.
I think one of the biggest problems we've got is we actually let men, and when I say men, I mean sort of men
Mankind.
in general. Yeah, we actually let them interpret things and decipher things, and they things like the Bible. It's been written and rewritten over the centuries by people with different interpretations on how they think it should be. You know, even like James the First, he wrote his own Bible because he, from his own thoughts and ideas of how it should be. So we've got all these sort of this input. So the like original Dead Sea Scrolls, which is where some of these things come from, it's completely different from how it was written, and it's been interpreted sort of to accommodate the people who want to stay in power, and I mean that by sort of all the top brass in the church. And it's the people at the lower end that have got to sort of keep giving the money and supposed to be keep supporting and worshipping.
Something that does annoy me, the Pope sits in this, from what I can tell, I don't know what chair it is. I've seen him somewhere sitting on this solid gold chair, preaching to people like us to give money to feed the poor.
Well, that was probably nicked from the Incas in the first place, that gold.
And sorry, that doesn't ring right to me. You know, the church, the Catholic Church and the Church of England, the Queen and the Pope, they're probably two of the most powerful people on the planet.
Yeah.
And two of the richest entities on the planet.
Yeah.
But they ask us to give money to help the poor, and which we do.
Yeah. But there's even stories of things like now when you buy a house and they will do what they call an altar search on there now, isn't it? And if your house was formerly in the land of a church and it's written in your deeds, yeah, you can be be made to pay towards the upkeep of a church. One of the houses I had up at Manor Street, that's within the parish, I think, of St Mary's, and that does have it in the deeds that if the church ever wanted money, they could cover people in the houses to up for the upkeep of the church. But we took out one of the, like an indemnity policy, so they couldn't do that. But there's stories of churches actually making people sell their houses so they can have all the money to go into their church fund and things like that. How is that? How is that helping people by turfing them out on the street so you can have all their money that they probably lived and worked all their lives for?
That's wrong. Okay, a few more comments. Sarah Jane says, I meant amazing about what you guys are doing in Pendle Hill in August. Sorry, that's not loud. That's fine. I can see all the comments. I get confused. Yeah, we are going Pendle Hill for 2 nights, 3 days and 2 nights.
Holiday we're going.
So we will be doing lots of different live feeds as much as we can. It depends on signal, obviously, but we'll record lots. So you will see us going to wherever, the forest and the church, the cemetery and all sorts. We're going to all the popular places, but I've been told not to, well, we've been told not to bother going to Lancaster Castle. Don't know why. Rasmussen, the paranormal is about being open-minded, and religions want you to be the opposite, otherwise you might question them too much. That's very true. I agree with that totally. Bloss says the Queen is the best. Rick says the money is to go towards paying people off when the vicars have been a little bit naughty.
Oh, I think I was reading an article about the Pope in the Vatican, how he signed off millions and millions of pounds to just pay these people off and all these naughty priests have all sort of kept their jobs and just carried on regardless. But I think it's the Vatican.
That was the name for a film, weren't it? Carry On Regardless.
Yeah, but I think the Vatican is the only country in the world where the age of consent is 12 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So keep your comments coming in. So do you agree religion and paranormal should be kept separate?
I think it should be kept separate, but I think that the faiths, that Catholics, priests, the Catholics and the Christians and everything else, should probably have a complete review on how they do things, because we know Christianity has been around for thousands of years, and I think it's about time they sort of had a bit of review. Although it's sad when there's just so many empty churches all the time, but people are waking up. People aren't blindly just walking down the aisles with their collection money and just putting it in. And people have now with the internet, people can research a lot more. They can find out more about themselves. But I do think there's a definite calling out there, and I mean spiritual calling for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. Annette says religion has been responsible for so much slaughter around the world since it came into being. Hypocrisy at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biff says there in Nottingham. I don't quite what you mean by that, Biff. Okay, Mark says Stephen Fry has some very interesting opinions on religion, which can be found on YouTube. Very interesting points, worth a watch if you like him or not. Okay, I didn't know that. I will take a look.
I like Stephen Fry when he's narrating things.
Sarah says all the bad press about religion is damaging churches, closing down, etc. Yeah. So keep the comments coming. So, like I said, I'm not religious at all, but I've got friends who are. So, but don't try and convert me, because it's not going to work. I've got my opinions.
But there's been a massive revival, hasn't there, in the pagan faith?
Yes.
And the pagans are very much on the uprise. And even in Norway recently, they built their first pagan church than they have done for something like 1,000 years or something.
Right. And
they built their first pagan church, so people could go and do their own thing, because it's become so popular now. And when we look back, that as pagans in this country, we used to worship like Mother Nature and the goddess, the horned god, which was like the Green Man or Pan, and it was then demonized. The horned god was demonized because they wanted to convert people to Christianity, and they wanted them to renounce their old god, so they demonized him. And this is where the horned god comes from.
Okay. Bloss says pagan is the best.
Yeah.
And Rick says, well, you do get to dance around naked in the moonlight with a pagan religion.
Yeah.
We won't be doing that in Pendle.
Always keeps you warm.
No. So yeah, so keep the comments coming, guys. Or if you want to deviate on something else, please do. We normally do, don't we?
Yeah.
Because everyone's gone quiet.
You see, when I was little, I'd sort of be out shopping with my dad, and there'd be a man like on an orange box talking about the Bible with the Bible in his hand, preaching, sort of in the marketplace or doing something like that. You don't see that anymore. I've not seen that for years and years and years.
No, they don't do that now, do they? I don't like it when they come knocking on your door either on a Sunday.
No.
But we don't get that so much now.
No, but that's another religion, isn't it? The Jehovah's Witnesses, when they come round, and that's fair enough if that's what they want to believe. But when they talk to me about, when Christ comes back and all these people are going to rise up and everything, and then I start talking
Be a
about
bit full,
dead
wouldn't
people
it?
rising up and everything else like that, they soon scuttle off. I don't know.
Bloss says, "Be nice to you, man." Thank you, Bloss. What you up to? So yeah, any other questions? If you want to deviate from the topic, that's fine. What do you want to say now, Jane? I'm gonna put pressure on you.
Pressure on me.
No pressure.
I think the answers are out there in the paranormal, and I think the religion. I mean, this is one of the things that we've talked about as well, isn't it? About how many things are hidden from us, and we've talked about this week. That in the museums and the scholars and everything, there's so many artifacts, there's so many documents, ancient documents, and everything else like that, and they've had all this stuff, but they won't let us see the truth. And they say it's because it's too dangerous for us. So, how much of this stuff, even in the vaults of the Vatican, how much stuff is down in the vaults of the Vatican that we would love to know and love to find out.
We'll never see it.
We'll never see it because we're not ready for it, or we're they've got to keep us like sheep.
Yeah. Sarah says, "I never knew what going to church was about as a child. No one ever told me." No, they don't. To me, it's about control. But and that says, "I love answering the door to them on. It's the best laugh of the week." So, like I say, I'm not religious, and I don't know about the Bible. What do they believe about UFOs in the Bible? What do Christians or whatever say about UFOs? Because aren't there some stained glass windows with a little a flying saucer in them?
I think there isn't then. I mean, back in the medieval times, there was painted. It started the Renaissance, wasn't it? After the Dark Ages, because they called it the Dark Ages because everybody was sort of kept in the dark. They were allowed to do anything. But there's paintings,
because they couldn't pay the electric bill.
With spaceships and stuff, even from 100 years ago.
So what do religious people think to UFOs? Do they not accept that they're there? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I would think it would be complete denial. And even if they did prove that they were real, they'd probably still say it's the devil's spawn coming to, corrupt us all.
Ross says, "Think there is lots hidden in the Vatican." Yeah, we believe that as well. Anne says, "Do you think pagan religion goes hand in hand with spiritual?"
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because with the pagans, and this is why I do a lot of the research, because I go right back, and I've been looking at stuff right back for years and years and years, and our very being, we are spiritual people in a pagan body, not in a pagan body, in a physical body, and we used to give thanks to the land. We used to celebrate harvests and give treat Mother Earth with respect, and we were grateful. And I think there's a lot of people going back to that because they're trying to find the religion is no longer delivering anymore. The other faiths, and people are finding that being through spirituality, through meditation, through connecting with their higher selves, through spirit and everything else, people are finding themselves to be much, much happier. And there is so much more to us as people. We can heal ourselves. We can do so much more than we are led to believe. And we're not our soul is not disconnected from our body, and we're not all disconnected from each other. And we've been led to believe that for such a long time.
Okay, some more comments. Bloss says yes to the UFOs, I think. Rick says, "I think we should have a trip to church one Sunday, and I will have a chat with the vicar." There'll be a lot of lightning strikes that day, Rick. Gary says, "A lot of them still deny it, just don't want us to know the truth. Can can keep taking the money then.
Yeah.
Bloss says Benji married a pagan and win, but divorced now. Hi Wendy, she's late. Annette says they have removed a lot of books from the Bible as they tell you God resides in you, not a building or a church.
Yeah, and that's another twist on it, because within yourself you have the power to do so much more healing and to connect with the universe, and there's just so much that we could go into. I don't think we've got enough time really to go into all that, but that's not necessarily God. That's what you can do as a spiritual person, connecting with the universe.
Mm. So keep the comments coming, please. Otherwise, we're just going to ramble.
But some of the books that were removed from the Bible, there was the Book of Enoch, and that was one of the most controversial because that's where the big battle was supposed to have happened, and the gods, the demons that they were, or the angels, I should say, rose up and said to God they didn't like being treated badly. So God kicked them all out, and this is where the fallen angels come from. God kicked them all out, and then they came down to earth and said that they wanted to lay with the daughters of men, and then there was their offspring was supposed to be the Nephilim, which were giants. So is that true, or is that another smite against them? So there's a lot of stories that have probably been mistold, so it fits the narrative of God being in control.
Yeah. I've just read this. It's disgusting. Sarah says, talking about pushing religion, a Catholic woman who looked after my daughter briefly took my daughter and got her christened without my permission.
Oh, that's
shocking.
Yeah.
That's so bad. That's the sort of thing we're talking about, really. And Annette said you should read the Gospel of Thomas. They don't like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I must admit, Annette, sorry.
We studied the Gospel of Matthew when we were at school.
Sarah says she was living in Ireland at the time.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever want to watch a film about, and it's based on a true story, watch the film Philomena. I think it's got Judi Dench in it, and it's a bit heartbreaking story, but it is based on a true story.
All right. Mark says, I think the Bible is like Chinese whispers. They would have changed many times to make the story great and more inviting, adding bits on and taking bits away. Yes, yeah. That's right, isn't it?
And twisting around some of the words as well. Even the mode of prayer is different. The original mode of prayer is completely different. And when I say my prayers, I pray completely different from how I was taught to pray in the church.
Yeah, I don't pray.
I do.
I don't.
But
we used to when we were kids.
I don't pray to God.
We used to when we were kids, like most kids were in the early 60s. We used to get kneel on the sides of our beds, hands together, and pray.
Yeah.
And something about not waking.
But when you're asking for things from God, that will never happen because it's not being done in the right way. And it was written all down in the right way. It's just that they've twisted it around now so that you can't, so that you would never sort of really find the
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's very educational show tonight, isn't it?
It is.
It's way over my head. Wendy says power of thought.
Yeah, that's very important as well.
Annette says if Bible should be renamed, what can con people with now? Yeah, it's just. I think it's sad the way it's done. The whole thing is quite sad.
There's so many other things as well, isn't it, that comes off the back of it. I'm sure everybody's seen the film, the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Is it Da Vinci Code?
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to be protecting the the Holy Grail
Yeah,
was,
and it's
people thought it was a
Jesus'
chalice,
daughter,
but it's
isn't
his
it?
bloodline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mary Magdalene wasn't the prostitute she was made out to be, but she was his wife.
Yeah.
So there's, you know, there's been a lot of like skullduggery, really, isn't there, to misconstrue stories.
Yeah. And that says I'm going to keep quiet now.
No,
No, don't
send
keep
us your
quiet.
thoughts.
Owen says, hi, I have got a ghost in my local cabin. As long as it doesn't, no one hurts you, Owen, don't worry about it. So any more comments?
You see, a lot of people as well, don't they, get priests and things involved in blessing their houses when they think they've got paranormal activity.
They do.
And you know, we've seen it on all the films and stuff, haven't we? Where the priests come in and exorcise things, and the Warrens were supposed to do a lot of that sort of work as well, weren't they? Because they were quite religious.
Yeah.
And a lot of their work was in a religious way. I would love to sort of reinvestigate some of the places they went to, but with not religious, you know, with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of the things probably wouldn't be demons and demonic entities.
Well, there wouldn't be, because the ones that we've come in contact with so far, they're not bad, are they?
No.
But no. that is in the public domain about them, isn't it? That's where you're getting it from.
Yeah. I mean, I've got other books that sort of, you know, that I reference to as well, encyclopedias and other books that I do reference as well. But the basics can be found out on the internet. So.
Sarah says, "Do it. That would be great."
There's supposed to be, going back to the priests and the possessions and all that sort of work. There's supposed to be a massive influx of possessions, isn't there? And
that's because somebody keeps summoning them.
And the Vatican and the priests, apparently they're supposed to be training all these hundreds of priests to go out and do these exorcisms.
So, okay, well, that's your opinion. Do you actually think these priests actually believe they are demons?
I think they do, yeah, because that's what they've been trained to think. You know, even as a priest, you would do like an apprenticeship, wouldn't you? When you first go into the church, and you would already have a religious background. I would have thought you'd have been going to church and all that sort of thing.
So what are they actually doing when they get there then? Because they're not demons, are they?
It's just difficult to say, isn't it? Probably. It's difficult to say because you don't know you don't know what other factors are involved, like mental illness or, you know, the fact that, I mean, look at the young girl that was...
Annalise.
Yes. I mean, she was actually chained up to a bed or something, wasn't she, for like 5 years? Because they said that she'd
send you mad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they said she was possessed by demons. But she went through so many exorcisms, and a lot of it was like, you know, there was beatings and all sorts. You know, and for the priest and for the parents to be charged through a court of law, then, you know, the court obviously doesn't recognise that there's demons. I don't think there's been many court cases, has there, where they've actually proved demons exist, and, you know, you could kill somebody because they were supposed to be possessed with demons and that sort of thing. It just doesn't stand up in a court of law.
It's weird, isn't it? It's all weird. We are in a funny... But
is this again down to somebody's say-so?
Yeah, probably.
Because her parents were deeply religious, weren't they? And they thought there was something wrong with her, and they called the priest in, and then he thought it was demons. And
so is it all these supposed possessions, demonic possessions, do you think they're all religious people?
I think so, yeah. I mean, if you look at, there's supposed to be, I mean, we know there's 72 demons in the Lesky of Solomon, but there's supposed to be thousands of demons sort of so we're told, supposed to be thousands of demons. And there's 6 billion people on this planet. Is it 6 or is it more than that now? 8 billion or something?
Oh, I don't know. Quite a
But
few.
anyway, there's billions of people on this planet. And if there's thousands of demons and billions of people, these demons would be having an absolute field day if they were possessing people like we're led to believe. And you just don't hear it. The people just, you know, how many possessions do you hear about?
None in Inkley.
None in Inkley, no.
No, none in Inkley. Owen says he thinks the ghost in his house is his dad. Well, just try and speak to him, Owen.
Yeah, talk to him. He's
He
probably just trying to get your attention.
he won't hurt you. Just talk to him and see if you can have a chat. So, any other comments, please? So basically, Dawn says, hello there, just joined you. What did I miss? Oh, you missed loads, Dawn. No, we're talking about something happened to me in the shop the other day when I was called
An abomination.
an abomination because of what I believe in and because I don't go to church. And this guy says I'm going to hell. I should turn to the Bible in the church to redeem myself. So we're just talking about religion and the paranormal. And it says the living are far more to be worried about than demons.
Yeah.
Definitely. In my opinion, definitely. The living scare me so much more than the dead and even the demonics. If you want to see what we're coming across about the demons, just check out the Demon Files. It is fascinating, if I say so myself.
It is, and we're also going to be running another series sort of off the back of that, which are going to be. Are we allowed to
Yeah, say it. Let's go. Let's announce it tonight.
It's going to be on the same lines as the Demon Files, but we're going to be trying to call on characters who we know have possibly got a story to tell. And by that, I mean, we're going to be calling on people, say, like the Grim Reaper or Pandora from Pandora's Box, or Pan, or, you know, all the other different things that are out there that are not demons.
So I'm laughing. I've just read Rick's comment. Okay. Dawn says, let's go through the comments. Dawn says, oh, okay, I don't go to church either. No, I don't know that much about religion. I admit it, so I can't. I just voice my opinion. But even though, excuse me, even my opinion is different to yours, we can still be mates. That's the most important thing to me.
That's the grown-up way.
That's and for me, I'm being a grown-up here. Good job, Amy's not here. Paul says, I think they are just angry ghosts, not demons. Quite possibly. This is the comment I was laughing at. Rick says, I turn to the Bible every time I need something to help light a fire. Those pages are awesome kindling. We've got a troll on. I'll just block them. Okay. Sarah says, great. Bloss says, my friend became a Jehovah, now she won't talk to me. And that's, to me, that's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're friends before, why can't you still be friends? I don't get that. I really don't understand that.
Because they're not allowed to, are they? I think in the Jehovah's, they're not allowed to mix with people outside of their religion. You're only allowed to mix with the people inside your church and
yeah, but
the Jehovah's.
How can a religion say that?
Yeah, well, that's what they do.
No,
people
surely
stick with it.
Surely a religion should be for good.
Yeah, and this has probably all been done on the doorstep.
Somebody wants you.
Somebody loves me.
You know, one of the first rules in paranormal investigating is put your phone on flight mode.
I forgot.
Okay then.
I'm getting old, you know. Oh, it's telling me that the Haunted Connection show's on. It's a reminder.
You're
Bit late.
A little bit late. Okay,
Oh
and
no, it's
that's
because it's 9 o'clock. It's still on the 9 o'clock.
oh god, so it's 10 to 9, and that says, "Oh, sounds interesting." That's about our
Yeah.
sort of.
I've already started to compile a list of people.
It's running
I'd like
along
to
the
talk
demon
to.
files, so we're not. This is why we need 10 days a week at the centre, because we've got so many more plans. Now, Jane and I had this project to do 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and we still ain't done it yet because we just not got time. But it's going to be interesting. Sarah says, "Why do they always put a Bible in the hotel room drawer?" I don't know.
Just in case.
Just in case they're going to convert you. I don't know. Bloss says, "We were best friends." Quite right. See, that don't make sense to me. That's total stupidity to
No,
me.
but they would have to sacrifice that.
No.
One of my old boyfriends, when I was a teenager, his sister,
Many years ago.
many years ago, his sister converted to be a Jehovah's Witness, and it absolutely broke his mum's heart because they had to give up Christmas. She'd already got 2 kids, and they had to give up Christmas. They're not allowed to celebrate Christmas or give presents or anything. And I have seen this side of it from a personal point of view, and it's it's a bit heart wrenching, really. But that's why I knew that they're not allowed to mix with sort of people outside the circle, because it was very rare that she actually got in touch with the family once she'd converted.
I just don't get it. You know, if you're friends before, how can a religion should be for the good
but
of
surely
everyone?
any religion should be about you making yourself better, you making yourself feel better, you wanting to become a better person through that connection and practicing that faith. But
Vicky says, "Hi guys, hope you're well. You were very well. We'll see you soon, aren't we, Vicky?"
it all seems it's about sacrifice and
it don't make sense. Gary says, "Jehovah to me, in my eyes, is more like a cult. I had a friend involved in it. They're no longer involved now." Yeah, it's weird. Okay, Mark says, "As a medium myself, I will share this with you all. In this line of work, there is vast amounts of ego and jealousy. Churches proclaiming to be correct all the time. Mediums say they're the best, and international this and that." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Corruption, money, and power trips is what I've seen mostly. Sorry if this is wrong.
No, it's absolutely
don't
fine.
apologise, Mark. We see it so much, and it does do my head in. I admit it. We don't say we're right. We just do what we want to do. This is the whole centre is our journey.
Yeah.
We're just fortunate that people like you have got a little bit of interest and just like to see what we're doing. We've got no ego. Jane never says she's the best medium ever because we're not bothered about being the best anyway. I don't want to be the best.
We just want to concentrate on our own line of work, don't we?
Yeah, we just enjoy what we're doing. But like I say, we're just lucky that so many people do like to see what we do.
We're not in competition with anybody. We don't want to be in competition with anybody, and we've got nothing to prove, and we don't need to be tested. We don't need to, we're quite happy to just potter along on our own little path, because all we want to do is find the truth for ourselves, and we just like to share that information with people out there.
If no one watched anything we do, we'd still be doing it, because this is what we do. I ain't going to sit in front of the TV every night. So, Mark, don't apologise. You're very right what you're saying. And it says that so they can keep what goes on inside and hidden away from everyone else. Yes. Bloss says, but they celebrate at different times, like their wedding anniversary. Yeah, I just don't understand why it fall out. It don't make sense to me. Vicky says, I used to work with a Jehovah and manager who was a Catholic. We used to have some interesting debates.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
That's great. If you can all sit in a circle and have a debate and talk about it so you understand each other more, that's great. But you don't have to push your own views on other people, and you don't have to be trying to force people to think the same way as you.
Yeah. Rick says, if Jesus was supposed to have given man the ability to fight evil, then why is it only the church that can use that knowledge? And if God was supposed to have given us free will, then how can that will be possessed by an entity? It's so easy to blame the devil, etc., for the wrongdoings of man. Yes, it's so easy to blame so-called demons. But in our experience, they're not bad.
No.
So far.
Some of them have been quite nice.
Mark
Very
says,
helpful.
yeah, Mark says, that's why I felt drawn to come here. Very genuine both. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, we are very genuine. We just love what we're doing, don't we?
We do.
And like I say, we're definitely not in it for money. You know, I'm not got a big yacht on the Mediterranean or anything.
No.
And it says I could not sit and debate with them. They would call the police. That's true, though, isn't it? People, some people don't want to listen to other people's opinions, and that's wrong. You know.
But even years ago, just for having a different opinion or just working a different way, you know, the Christian church would have you burnt at the stake, you know, for heresy.
You'd have no chance, would you? You'd be well gone.
No, I'd have been in the pond a long time ago. This actually feels like a ducking stool, to be honest. That's soon gone. It's nearly time to say goodnight. Bloss says, yes, you have. No, I haven't, Bloss. I've not got a yacht. It's a little wooden one about that big. It goes in the bath.
Sarah says, I'll never be a Mormon. I like my tea too much. Do they not drink tea?
I don't know, but I think the Mormons, they're allowed lots of different wives, aren't they?
Oh,
They practice polygamy. It is polygamy, isn't it? And they have like loads and loads of wives. It's a very patriarchal.
That's a stupidity religion straight away, having more than one wife. Stop laughing. And that says I'll be a bit crispy now. Bloss says Neil would get you, Jane.
No, he's got to catch me first.
Sarah says
both of us getting up. That's no chance.
Sarah said no tea. So yeah, we've come to the end of. It's nearly 9 o'clock. So thanks for watching. It's been a good chat. It's been interesting.
It's been good fun.
Because it's when I was younger, when I started going to the pub, my granddad says, whatever you do, don't talk about religion and politics.
Yeah.
And you'll be okay, because it's causes so many problems.
But I'm just grateful now that we do live in a society where you can actually question the church and you can actually ask questions and everything else. Because years ago you couldn't, you wouldn't have done it.
Okay, a few more comments. Vicky says they have to toe the line though, Neil. That's me names out for being more out for me, Bill. You got no chance. Wendy says no drugs, stimulants like coffee, etc. Well, I don't. Bloss says thanks, guys. Good night, sleep well. Good night, Bloss.
Night, Bloss.
Mark says, I'd love to do investigation at Bosworth Hall Hotel. If you're interested in investigating Bosworth Hall, contact Haunted Live, because they do exclusive ghost hunts at Bosworth Hall. So they're the only ones that do it, as far as I know. They do a few a year, don't they? They did Halloween.
We have been on them, and they are really good.
Yes, we normally get an invite. Biff says, how can you trust anyone who doesn't like a good brew? Madness.
And Yorkshire tea as well.
No, sorry, Biff. It's got to be green tea. So I said enjoy the show. Thanks both. And Mark says, brilliant. Yeah, so Bosworth Hall, if you want to investigate Bosworth Hall, which is quite a fantastic place.
It is.
Not as good as this
Loads of
place, of
history.
course, but it is a good place. Go with Contact Haunted Live. I don't know when they're going again, but
And if you're really into Bosworth Hall, look up Penny Griffiths Morgan. She's just released a book on Bosworth Hall and paranormal experiences there. So, are you a stockist?
Not yet.
Oh, so you find Penny Haunted Histories it is, and she's just released a book about Bosworth Hall. So, really interesting read.
Especially the chapter when I got 4 women on the knees. You need to buy the book to hear that one. Dawn says, we're coming to you in April. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to meeting you, Dawn.
Seeing you.
And that's it for tonight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all your opinions. And thanks for no one falling out with anybody, which I thought perhaps we would do. But we get nice people on here, don't we?
Yeah, we always do.
So we're going to say goodnight because we're on overtime now. And Jane won overtime pay.
What's that?
What's pay? So good night, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Before you all go,
yes.
Next week, if you've got the Haunted magazine, you'd have read Jane's article about the stone tape theory.
Yeah.
And there's the Haunted magazine. I've got a bit of a debate going on about whether stone tape theory is true or not.
Residual energy, isn't it?
Yeah, residual energy. So next week, next Tuesday, we've got a show dedicated to residual energy or the stone tape theory. Again, we want everyone's opinion. It's not just our opinion.
Yeah, so go and do some homework. Look up stone tape theory, the film Stone Tape from 1972, and also look up residual energy. And that's your homework for this week. And then you can come back next week and we'll have a great chat.
Yeah. So good night, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.